Oh, three faces.
One,
Three
two, three.
beautiful faces. Yeah. Look at these blonde heads here.
Yes, my natural blonde.
Yeah, mine too.
My
Mine
not
too.
natural
Right,
blonde.
we're all naturals. Yes, for sure. Somebody said, "Is that natural? My natural, your natural color?" I'm like, does it look like it?
Yeah.
Let's look at these roots, right? So I'm so happy to have both of you here. I love to start with a fun fact. Amy Thompson
Oh,
does
look
not
at
know about this. Doesn't know this about Amy. How do you pronounce your last name, Amy?
Standridge. Just a
Standridge.
standing on a ridge. Yep.
Excellent. That's
Standridge.
helpful. Fun fact about you. You are
Okay.
getting your humor certification.
Yes. It's so fun and funny.
Tell us about that. I didn't even know that there was
I know.
an organization around a humor organization.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is.
I think there are more than one, but ours is the best. Ask
course it
anyone.
is.
Ask any one of our members. But yeah, so it's called AATH, the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. It's been around for, oh gosh, I didn't do my research, 30 years, I think, started by Mary Kay Morrison, a professional and author. And
not to be confused with Mary Kay, the cosmetics.
Right.
Or is it?
I don't believe so. No, I've read one of her books and she didn't say anything about makeup.
All right. Okay.
And yeah, so we're an organization, boy, of counselors and nurses and executives and professionals, and I'm a music therapist, at least one. Yes. Artists, improv experts. I don't want to miss anybody. Professional clowns.
Professional clowns.
Yes.
There are professional clowns in this organization?
Yes, there are.
How do I sign up to be a professional clown?
Right. I don't know. Ask. Let's see. Who do I know?
Can you connect me with a professional clown, please?
You bet. And then laughter yoga leaders.
What?
Do you know of laughter yoga?
That?
So I'm not a laughter yoga leader, so I can't give a lot of details. But the whole purpose of laughter yoga is just to laugh and laugh hard and laugh for a long time. And the benefits of laughter are immense. It's good for your emotions. It's good for your brain. It's good for your respiration. And the more we laugh, the better we feel, and the less often we have to go to the gym.
So I don't have to go to the gym if I laugh more? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Core built by laughter. I like the sound of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Package that in some way.
Yeah.
Amy Thompson, did you know about laughter yoga instructors?
I believe in my 200-hour yoga teacher training, I believe we were given like a little snippet of like, there's lots of ways to do yoga. And they described that, interestingly enough, it's a bit forced there for a while, but then you kind of, like meditation, you kind of go through peaks and valleys of it being genuine or a bit of fake it till you become it kind of thing. But yeah, I had heard of it. I hadn't tried it yet, but I had heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't tried it either. I tried, well, I'm buffering. I've got an idea.
I'm buffering.
I have somebody.
Please wait. Hold please. That's what my sister says. Hold please.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go on my tangent. I was just going to go on. Yes, I haven't officially tried a laughter yoga course before, but since I've been in the organization and I'm in the Humor Academy, it's a 3-year program to become then a certified humor professional. Since I've been in the Humor Academy, I've learned a lot more about how important laughter and fun and humor are. And laughter, I try to laugh harder than I might normally. Let it really go. I think sometimes, especially as professionals, we're trying to be professional. We got to button it up. We maybe don't laugh as heartily as we might in our own homes. So if I see something funny,
why don't we do that?
Right?
Why do we hold it in or like contain our ridiculousness?
Right. Well, I don't do it very well.
I don't either. Right?
I know you don't.
That nonsense, right? I'm like, screw that.
We are preaching to the choir right now, I think. Yeah.
Good. Yes.
How did you get connected to this organization?
Okay,
how did you find out about it?
Yeah. So the Humor Academy and the AATH was a gift of COVID to me. So during the lockdown stages of COVID, I know we're not done with dumb COVID, but during the lockdown stages of COVID, because I was unable to see my clients face to face, because I work with older adults who have dementia, I did a lot of work with a peer mentoring supervision group that I'm in about core values. And we took some little core value inventories. And the clearest thing for me that came up every time was fun and humor, fun and humor, fun and humor. And I went, well, that's not professional. That's a little bit frivolous. I don't want to be the person, I like to have fun, but I also want people to know that, I have a serious side and I'm professional and blah, blah, blah. And my peer group encouraged me, hey, no, if that is who you are, we can see that is who you are. And so that's absolutely a valid core value. And so I began to search for validation for my value. It wasn't good enough.
So you looked for it.
I did.
You looked for the organization.
Well, I just looked. Well, I don't exactly remember, what I Googled for the first time, but what I found was the Comedy Cures Foundation. So Saran Rothberg is the founder of that organization. She's a cancer survivor and credits humor and laughter to her recovery from cancer.
Wow.
As well as, of course, the wonderful medical care that she received.
Right.
So the Comedy Cures Foundation had a laughter summit that I attended. And during the laughter summit, a professional came on. Karen Buxman is her name, and talked about AATH. And I was so excited.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Ta-da! So that's how I found AATH. And I had a conversation. They were starting the Humor Academy. So it's a 3-year course. So you have to register before it starts for the year. And it started like the deadline for registration was like the next day. I had a phone conversation, with Mary Kay, not the makeup.
Not the makeup.
Yeah.
The other gal.
And she,
the humor gal.
Yeah. I joke, she made me do it. No, she didn't have to talk me into it. I was on the edge, and I joined the next day. And so now I'm in level 1 of the Humor Academy with Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor.
So,
and it's so fun.
I'd love to know how, so you went from, I need to be serious, right? I need to be serious and I need to be professional to like eat it. Like I'm sucking on a prune or something to now you're embracing this idea of humor in your professional work.
For sure.
So how did that why is that important to you? Why is that important to you now?
Well, so I work with older adults who have dementia and their care partners. Usually I do some private work one-on-one, but because of COVID and because of my aging population, I haven't been able to really do that face-to-face. And so I have a choir that meets on, well, it doesn't matter, it meets on Fridays for people living with dementia and their care partners. And we just have always laughed a lot together. It's part of what keeps us together. It's part of what brings me so much joy about it. I mean, music is so important to me. And when we're seeing each other face to face, it was just really neat for me to see the funniest people in our, choir were the people who were the oldest sometimes. And a couple of guys in their 90s would sit in the back row, and they were like teenagers, joking around, and I had to rein them in. And so it's like, this is something that you can start young and develop your humor being when you're a young person, and you can continue it. And in the older and older we get, I feel like the less valued we are. Well, she's old, he's old. And so having that sense of humor is a way to just to stay relevant in your own heart.
What were they doing that you had to like, hey,
you guys back there,
hey,
get serious.
Stop that nonsense. Right.
I like faces.
Yes, I do too. Like this, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's not professional, Michelle.
It's not, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I don't really remember because sadly it's been so long. It's so sad.
How long ago was that? Do you know?
Yeah, well, it was, yes, I do. It was March 13th, 2020.
Okay, right at the impetus of.
Yeah. I think it was the week before. Where we stopped having to meet together. No, I don't know what they were doing. They just were having fun together. And they just had a
screwing off.
Yeah, right. And great sense of humor and finding.
How old were they? Funny. Just out of curiosity.
I think they were both 92. They were in their 90s.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they're like two little school boys in the back. Like,
kind of. And then just so much laughter and jokingness that it was just part of our culture, of our group, of our choir. And it continued when we had to go on Zoom. And we still are meeting on Zoom. We're not face to face again. And so since I've started with the organization and the Humor Academy, like I just have learned more and more about how important humor and laughter is for our bodies, our brains, our spirits, everything. And so as much as we get humor, and sometimes we tell jokes, sometimes our members tell jokes, and we just have a lightness about the group. It's part of our company culture, if you will.
Do you feel that has allowed people to? Oh my God, that's funny. Where did you get that mug? From the Academy?
Yes. From
Great.
AATH. Yes.
You only get the mug if you're in the Academy. Or
if you come to the conference,
yeah.
If you come to the conference next March, you might get some swag as well.
I'm ready. Tell me the dates. I'm in.
Right.
I'm in. Let's do it. I want to show up to this conference of people with professional cons involved. You know, that's fantastic. Do you feel that the infusion of humor, why add humor to the work, to your life, to whatever, is to create inclusion and people feel more comfortable? I mean, what are all the other benefits you see? I mean, are that's what I drew out of what you said. Is there anything else that you would add to that?
Well, so humor is processed all over in the brain because it's so multifaceted. I mean, there's the laughter, which is the physical part, and there's the emotion, which is mirth, and then there is the cognitive part, the interesting. Oh, that's so fat. That's so interesting. That's so funny. I didn't think about that. The wit, the cognitive part. And all of those things are processed in different areas of the brain. So what happens is, one, you get this whole brain activation that's important for anybody, especially for people when you get older and when you have dementia. It's important to keep those neural connections as strong as you can for as long as you can. But also neurochemically, like oxytocin comes from laughter, and it's a bonding hormone. So when you laugh with people, or for that matter, when you sing with people, group singing is also creates this. It's this oxytocin, this bonding hormone, so that you're bonded more closely together. Also, it's great for reframing. If something bad or scary or sad happens, if you can cognitively reframe that with using laughter, what's funny about it? Hurts. Oh my gosh, it hurts. What's funny about that? It's an exercise and a practice, but the more you are able to do that, the more it's just great for your mental health.
And
go ahead, Amy.
So I feel like there's a barrier. You hinted at this earlier, a barrier for people to really embrace the funny or the humor. I'm assuming you're learning some of this, like how I feel like the older I get, the more I am willing to just be myself. But when I was younger, I kind of had, rules or whatever. Like, how can people break those rules for themselves and start to lean into the humor?
Yeah. Well, one of the things is, you've done a yoga certification, so you know about a yoga practice. One thing is a humor practice. You can practice finding the funny in everyday life, practice cognitive reframing using humor. Can you, Amy, repeat your question? Because now I've gone on a tangent. I'm like looking at, I'm trying to look at the camera, so I'm really engaged with the viewers. And then I forget. Right? Then I go, oh my gosh, everyone's looking at me. I forgot what I'm talking about.
And I love that you have two pairs of glasses on, by the way. I know.
They're my Zoom focals.
It's like I got two headphones, right? This is my necklace, and here are my earbuds. What do you have two of, Amy Thompson?
I'm just trying to use the one brain I've got to keep up.
What was your question?
All right, Amy. So I was asking for the noob to embracing the humor as being okay.
Oh, got it.
Oh, right.
Like, what are some tips to help someone lean into it?
Right. Well, one is don't try to be as funny as Michelle, or as funny as
right, or anybody.
Yeah, or as funny as Jimmy Fallon, or as funny as Carol Burnett. It has to be authentic, and everybody's sense of humor is different. So you might have somebody who's really funny in conversation. They can pick up nuances in conversation and use that. That counts. There's some people who can tell a great joke. That counts. But if it's not authentic, it won't be funny and it won't be fun. The good thing about using humor and making other people laugh is that you get to laugh in the process as well. And if it's not authentic to you, then it won't be fun. So how do you lean in? You can do a humor practice. What do you find funny and why? And keep doing that and make that If it's authentic, it's going to feel okay because it's a part of who you are at that point. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, I got to be funny. I'm going to tell a joke now. Did that answer your question, Amy?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
And Amy, do you have a one? I'm not saying you have to go, but if you don't,
I do. I have
Okay.
a 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay. A one. I'm like,
You
a
can-
one what?
one
One
o'clock.
brain.
1 o'clock. She's got another meeting,
I
or
do.
or
I
she
do.
could just blow those people off. I don't know.
No, I love all the people. I'm just going to remove myself,
know.
but from
Okay.
one Amy Thompson to another.
Yes. I know. I should have changed my name.
Joining us.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Amy.
Nice to meet you too. Bye, girl.
Bye. Oh, I just absolutely adore the concept of embracing your own version of funny and being curious about how you can infuse humor however you define it
Mhm.
to help people, for you to be more comfortable, for somebody else to be more comfortable, right? I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And, expressions of humor can be like, look at my earrings. I'm wearing little witch earrings with tassels.
I like those.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the tassels on those too.
You can really see my two glasses.
Yeah.
Look at how funny I am.
when you put those two glasses on, I'm like, what? No, all right. Now, tell why you have two glasses on for people.
Okay.
Watching.
Yeah. So right. So these are my regular glasses, but I haven't had time to go to the eye doctor. I've been to the doctor. I haven't had time to pick out the glasses. So in order to see when I'm on my Zooms, I have to go like this because I can only see you out of that. So yeah. So these are my regular readers, and I just put them right over, and I call them my Zoom focals.
And see, I can't see, like, if I put these on, I gotta go like, I can't, because I can't see. These are for distance, and so now, like, I'm like, whoa. So I gotta take these off for close up.
But
that's
like
right?
Yeah, right. I mean, what?
What?
An accessory, a well-chosen accessory can be your sense of humor. Let's say you're in a work culture that doesn't value humor. Well, bring it. Maybe it's up to you to change that, one little thing at a time. But if you're really not allowed, a little accessory is fun. Or you can keep a fidget toy in your desk drawer, and in the meeting, nobody knows, you can have fun in that way. If you're not allowed to have fun out loud in front of people, you can have fun in your brain.
That's true.
It's good for you. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So now we're getting to some of the tips on how to actually do this for like what Amy said earlier, as far as if you're new in this space and you want to do it, you feel you understand why it's important now based on whether it's for you or for other people. So how we can do it. So the accessories are great. That's awesome. I love that idea. And so you see the surfboard behind me. That breaks the ice in so many different ways. They're like, wow, look at that gal. She's getting eaten by that shark. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, maybe she is, but isn't she fun? So accessories you mentioned, and then the fidgeting. Talk to them about the toys or something that you might have that you're gonna play around with or fidget. What does that mean?
I wish I had one in front of me because I have a 9-year-old daughter and she loves these things. She has like 100 fidgets. That's all she wanted for her 9th birthday. But some of it are, so, I mean, here's something that you could do. Here's my little headphone case, whatever.
Yep.
Like, this is colorful. It's pink. If you don't like pink, this wouldn't bring you fun. But, I can just fidget with it this is not an official fidget, but some of them are kind of like that. There's a company called Poopsies.
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 What is that? Okay.
So I've looked at it, but it's been a while, and just it's an online company. And in fact, I think they're having some fundraiser maybe Friday. Oh, I didn't know I'd be promoting that, but yeah. So they're just toys, fidget toys, probably T-shirts and mugs. I'm talking out of turn because I don't really remember. But yeah, poopsies.com, I think it is.
Well, okay, so I have this is like stress ball stuff, but I got something down here, which this is a fun little convertible. You're like, I'm in a meeting, I'm like, I'm done. Instead of spurting out whatever I want to spurt out, I can smash this thing in my hand.
Right? I used to have one of those.
Talking about.
I had one of those from a conference that was shaped like a thyroid.
Well, that's
You
interesting.
could just like squeeze the thigh, and there's ones that are shaped like brains or whatever. And that's funny. I think that's funny though. That's a way that you could use humor in a business meeting if you're a doctor or an endocrinologist. Have a squeezable thyroid. You know, you could even toss them to people if that's part of the deal. Just anything. So levity, a lightness, that's humor as well. Humor doesn't mean comedy, and it doesn't even really mean laughter all the time. It just means good spirits.
You know what's funny? You mentioned this earlier because you and I connected this way immediately when we first met, and in this morning, somebody that I'm working with mentioned in an instant message, he's like talking about something snow. He put snow in caps, and I saw globe. I read snow globe, like, and he's talking about something completely serious. I'm like, I thought you were talking about some type of snow globe or something. You're shaking the snow globe. He's like, yeah, like this. And then he sends a GIF, right? And we were talking about something heavy.
Yeah.
Originally, we were talking about something heavy, and it just lightens the mood, whether it's a GIF or some type of crazy reference. And I think that's what you're getting at. It, you know, creates inclusion and doesn't make something that is maybe super serious or difficult to handle. It makes it lighter, not as hard to handle or communicate.
Yeah, I love this. I read this book. I have my books here. That's why I'm squinting at them. Called Your Brain at Work by Dr. David Rock. And it's this fascinating book about brain science and motivation and learning and etc. And two of the things he talks about, and these are probably not his creations, but are toward states and away states. If you're in the state of stress, you're in an away state. You want to get out of there. If you're in a toward state, you're going to lean in and you're going to be more present and more part of things. And so that sense of that humor it draws you in. Like you said, it's more inclusive. It's a toward state, and you're more productive in that state. You're happier in that state. You're more creative in that state. So that's really important.
I love that distinction between away and toward state and away state, because I know heroes of late have been super stressed, and then I find myself withdrawing. And so if I'm able to infuse humor, like even just in this conversation, it feels I immediately have more energy than if I am not applying this particular technique.
Right. Yeah. And you can use that anytime. Like, for example, if you have a commute and you want to go home to your family and you don't want to be a bear when you get there, listen to a comedy channel, listen to a comedy CD or an Audible. So I have a book club right now. We're listening to Bossy Pants by Tina Fey.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you read it?
I actually couldn't get through it. I started it, but I can't remember why I put it down, but I did put it down.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. And I'm listening to it, which makes a difference.
Okay.
So, and I drive a lot. I've got 3 kids in 3 different schools. So I drive a lot and I listen to it. And it just, first of all, it's interesting to me because I love Saturday Night Live. I'm a fan. And she talks about that a little bit. And like, you know, if you want to develop your sense of humor, you know, listening to funny books and authors is a good way to sort of get different perspectives. You can listen to their delivery. You know, I'm not a stand-up comic, but I know that delivery is important. Your timing is important. The way you say things, the expressions you use, etc. You can't really hear that on an audiobook, but like
true.
watching comics and actors and listening, it's interesting. It's a good way to kind of develop your sense of humor, and not to mention lift your mood and your spirits if you're transitioning from something like work to home, or even if you are feeling tired in the afternoon and need a burst of energy. Watch something funny.
What would you say to people that feel that are watching now or that are going to listen to this later that say, I don't have a sense of humor and it's something that I'm not capable of doing? What would you say to those folks?
It's not too late. It's not too late. Now, if you think humor is ridiculous and I'm not funny and not going to even try to be funny, you're a humor doomer.
Humor doomer.
Yes.
Nice.
That's another Mary Kay term. Humor doomers.
And what is a humor doomer?
It's somebody who won't.
It's a negative Nelly.
Negative Nelly. They won't accept your humor. They don't think it's important, and they're not going to fall for it.
How do you win over humor doomers?
Somebody without a sense of humor, I'm not sure I can. Maybe you can. How do you do it?
I don't. So I actually don't feed into the doomer part. I'm like, well, I'm going to include them along for the ride, regardless of whether they like it or not.
Right.
And I'm going to have fun, even if they're going to place doom and gloom
Mm-hmm.
like the cloud, right? It's like, yeah. Or is that Linus? Which one is the one with the cloud and the blanket? Or is
well, Linus has the blanket, but Pigpen has the dirt.
Oh, okay. So they're different. Yeah. So I was slamming the two of them together.
Yeah. Hey, it's a mashup.
So who is the one with the cloud?
I think it's Pigpen, but it's not a cloud, it's dirt. I don't know. Someone's going to be like, you idiots. How do you not know that?
I don't know. It sounded good, right?
Yeah, dark cloud. Yeah. I mean, I think with anybody, like you run into, crabby people sometimes. And I'm not saying if you don't have a sense of humor, you're crabby, because that's not true. That's not always true. That's not true, right?
Somebody could be having a bad day.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm crabby and I'm not funny or humorous, and I'm like thumbs down in most cases, in some cases.
Well, and those people, maybe humor is just a smile to them, and if they don't smile back, you're getting the benefits from your own darn smile. So you're going to smile, and it's good for you. When you interact with somebody really negative, it's hard not to be brought down and go there yourself. So your sense of levity and sense of humor and delight in whatever you can do that with somebody who's maybe having, people do have bad days nothing's going to be funny, but, but that's where reframing is really important. Being able to look at something stressful.
Are there any other tips or techniques that you would offer up to people, since you are in the academy and you're going to be satisfied, you're going to be certified soon?
Yeah. Well, one of the things I'm trying to learn about that I'm not so far very good at is storytelling. I mean, storytelling is a really good way to get your point across without telling everybody, spelling out what your point is. Because, in the workplace, most of the times, unless you're at a very high level, people already kind of know what you're going to share. And they might even tune you out. I know, I've heard this before. But if you put it in a story, then it's going to be more easily digestible, and then maybe they'll see it in a different way. When it's your own, concoction or realization, it makes a lot more sense to you cognitively. If somebody tells you something, when you make it your own, if you will.
An analogy, is that the same?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
use an analogy
probably. Too? Yeah, for sure, analogy. Yeah, another thing.
No, go ahead.
Oh, another thing you can do, like, in a meeting, if it's a slide presentation, you could put a humorous slide in. Of course, it needs to be it needs to be appropriate. A GIF, like you said, or a joke, or just a funny picture, just lightens the mood. So there's also there's a presentation. There's so many things we can do with technology right now, but it's called mentimeter.com.
Yes, I know what that is.
Yeah, and you can do the little polls. Yeah, you can do the little polls with the funny, I say GIF, but with the funny GIFs in it. It just adds a lightness. I have no idea.
Tomato, potato is the same thing.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Okay, right. The story, it's funny. So this was yesterday or today, I don't remember. Anyway, days start to run together. I was trying to explain to somebody that we couldn't do what we wanted to do in the amount of time allotted. And I said, look, it's kind of like asking a woman to give birth in 1 month. That is what we're attempting to do. It's just not possible. We're like, okay. So is that an example of the story or analogy potentially?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. And it's, for sure. It makes it just more, anything that you're looking at it in a different way, right? Oh, we're trying to cram 6 months of, 9 months of work into 1 month. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not good at math. So I'm like,
right. How am I going to do that? Right. Is there 9 people involved? Like, can 9 people have one baby in 1 month? Right.
Yeah, I'm gone.
That's too complicated.
Buffering. I'm still buffering that.
Hold please. That's what my sister said.
But it makes it
hold please.
Hold please. Right. That's going to be a new one.
So funny. That's
That'll
right.
Be
hold please.
Yeah.
So this has been fantastic. I
Oh my
think
gosh.
there's why in here. Why is
Mhm.
important? There's certification. There's an academy out there. There's different tools and techniques. Is there any final comments that you would have for folks watching now, Amy, or that are going to be watching later?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the main thing that I would say is being funny is okay. And in fact, it's good. Humor is important. It's not frivolous. When it first started popping up in my core value inventories, I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. But it's important. And right now, with the way the world is, and half of us are still locked
Even
down,
more
and the other half
important,
don't
yeah.
know what to do and what's safe and when. And it's extremely important. And so you might have to look for it. Especially, I know people have struggles.
Yeah.
When you're deep in a struggle, it's hard, and maybe it's not the time at that point to, well, I'm going to be funny and I'm going to find a sense of humor.
Right.
You might need to take a baby step at that point. So one of the things that I learned from a book that my mom gave me when my dad passed away, or maybe it was something that she told me, but if you can find one piece of joy in the day, just capitalize on that one thing. You don't have to have a brilliant day, but if you look back and go, oh, the sunrise this morning, wow, it's the awe factor. Or it was so funny when oh brother, like what's so funny? It was so funny when my dog rolled over on her back and wanted to be pet, or just cling to that one thing. And then
it could be joy too.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be it could be have that lens on it, right?
Beauty, joy, fun, humor, anything that lifts your spirits.
I love that.
Yeah, so you don't have to. It doesn't have to be all right now and all for now. Well, I'm not funny. Too late. You can become more funny. It's a skill. Humor is a skill that you can develop.
Anne saying, I love the idea of reframing. Thank you. Like, of course, Anne. Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
I gotta fix my glasses. They're crooked.
Yeah. Here, I've got cool stuff going on.
Yeah. Wow, what a joy. Okay, I have to show you one more thing. So here's my shirt. This is also from the association.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love
You
that.
belong. You belong with us. Come on, you belong.
I do.
Okay.
Everybody does, right?
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much. What a joy and a privilege. Thank
Amy.
you.
Yeah, you have a wonderful day. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
Bye, my dear.
Bye.